Hello, everybody. It's 5-0 with your host, Haley. I'm Haley, if you didn't already know. Now, if you could hear in my voice, I've been down bad, you guys. I have been sick for like 6 straight days. So if it's painful to listen to me, I apologize. It's painful to listen to myself, quite frankly. If you're watching, hey. If you're listening, again, sorry for the voice. I am a woman of my word, okay? So even though I am down bad, feeling like absolute crap, I told you guys I would start some solo pods. And since this is my very first one, we're going to take it easy. I'm going to take it easy on myself. And I'm doing this on the fly, okay? I didn't write a plan for this. The questions I'm going to answer, I didn't come up with premeditated answers. I'm just kind of rolling with it because I want this to be as real and honest as possible. I hope in the future I can have other first responders join me in answering the questions. Today was, again, really on the fly, but I would love for you guys to have different POVs than just mine. Now, years and years ago when I started, I'm acting like I started TikTok when I was like 12. No, it was like just a few years ago. I felt like there wasn't many female voices in the policing world, or at least I didn't see many. And I did draw a lot of attention in the sense that people asked me for advice. And I would answer them genuinely. And then it kind of opened up doors to where men would ask me questions as well. And it's just kind of become less of just like a TikTok page. And I hope it becomes, and it has became, more of a community where like you feel like you can come to me and I can answer questions. I almost have 6 years on the job. But quite frankly, I've been through a lot. So I feel like my years are kind of like dog years almost. And I am the daughter of a officer as well. My dad, I think he's on his 36th or 7th year being an officer. Does that make sense, or am I totally making that up? Either way, he's been an officer for a long time. I don't know when he's going to retire. I tell him every time I see him, like, "Hi, Dad, how are you? Retire." But he's a deputy chief. So I've grown up with it. My mom's a, first responder wife, first responder mother. So this has been kind of like my jam for a while. And again, I think I've been through a lot where I could speak on things. And again, I want you to not take my word for everything. Just take it with a grain of salt. Take what you need from it. And again, I hope in the future I could have other people like Sean or my fiance Leo or some of my friends come on here and help answer these questions, because I want you guys to get a lot more out of this than just from me. I am not the total voice of reason by any means, but I'm totally here to help. So I'm going to answer some questions that I've gotten recently. I get a ton a day. And if I haven't gotten back to you, I apologize. I always do. It just might take some time. Now that I have my, company, I respond to those messages, then my TikTok, then my personal page. And then I work 12-hour shifts, and, I'm still an active duty police officer. So I have, a lot going on. But anyways, let's get to our first question. All right. Okay. I'm not going to say names. I'm going to keep everything anonymous. So if you have any questions and want to be in the pod, you could totally message me and we will get to them. I will also respond to you as well in case you don't watch this. But all right, first question. Hey, I just saw your post about lateral transfers. I'm a PO in one of the suburbs in Illinois. I was also thinking about making the move to Florida. Can you recommend any good agencies out there? Now, I can and I can't, because I feel like I can't be the person to recommend an agency for you. Now, if you've listened to my last podcast with Rachel, She is also an Illinois officer that moved to Florida. And I asked her advice on the best way to navigate lateraling down here. I really suggest you listen to that because she gave like the best advice. But so I'm going to reiterate some of the things that she said because she just hit the nail on the head with that one. Okay, so first, check out their social media, right? Check out their Instagram, their Facebook pages, see the smiling faces, check out the people. I mean, let's be real. We want to look and see what's going on. Check that out, okay? Check out their values. Every single department has a core mission, core values. See if that aligns with yours. Now, if there's different promotions that you want to take, different things that you want to do with your career, look up and make sure they have it. What if they don't have what if you're like super into community policing and they don't have one single post about it, they don't have a department for it, etc. Look that up and see if they have what aligns with what you want to do. Now, Rachel touched on this, which is a huge piece. She said, make sure the size of the agency is something that you would want. So, huge point. If I came from an agency of like 13,000 people, right? Now I'm at an agency of like a little under 200. That's a huge change for me, okay? I am so used to just being one of thousands. Now I'm, a bigger fish in a smaller pond. What are you looking for? Do you want to be with a big agency? Do you want to be with a small agency? If you're a woman, ask, how many women officers do you have? There might only be like 2. Is that something that you want? Maybe you'd be cool with it. Maybe you're not so cool with it. You can always call the front desk and ask questions. And typically on their website, they will have all the information of their active officers. So make sure the size of the agency aligns. Now, Rachel also touched on this. Housing. Look at the market. Keep Zillow open, she said, and look at the houses by the agency that you're interested in. If the prices of the homes are way out of your budget, are you going to be able to live and work there? You are going to have to look at places that align with your budget. And you know what this agency is going to pay you? Are you going to be able to afford living there? Like, let's say, for instance, you really want to go to Miami. Now, a home that you may be able to afford nearby work might be an hour away. Miami's expensive. So when you're looking at agencies, keep that Zillow app up and check and see the prices of these homes. Because if you want to buy, and even if you want to rent, you need to see what you're about to get into. Because let's say you say yes to an agency and you get down there and you have a week to find a place to live. What if you can't afford it? That's a huge, huge piece that me and Rachel go over in our last podcast. Also, she mentioned go on a ride-along. Florida does ride-alongs, which is awesome. I didn't do that for my agency. I would highly suggest you do that. Take a ride-along with your top 2 agencies, and you're going to get the feel right then and there. You're going to know. You just know. No matter where you work, if you take a little tour with the people, the vibes, the call-outs, you're going to know. So do that ride-along. That's going to make all of the difference. And then where in Florida do you want to live? Do you want to live on like the Tampa side, the Orlando side? Do you want to be south by Miami? Do you want to be up by Fort Lauderdale? Where do you see yourself? Check the airports. Now, is the nearest airport to your agency a more boutique airport? And is it going to cost you a lot to go home and visit your family? These are all things that you really, really need to consider and really need to think about. So watch the last podcast, but I hope that helps a little bit. A lot of this I didn't do because I already had my fiance here. So I knew I had a place to live, which alleviated a lot of those worries. But if you're doing this on your own, you have a lot of work to do. And you also have a lot to figure out as far as financial. Are they going to pay you the same? Are they going to match your pay grade? Stuff like that. You need to make sure you have those tough conversations with these departments. Okay? All right. Let's get to the next question. Oh, okay. I like this one. Hey, girl, I'm making 7 years on the job, and I'm planning on resigning and finding a new career. How did you know it was time to leave CPD? Well, leaving CPD was the single hardest decision I've probably ever made in my entire life. Not only did I have, friends and family were very supportive of me, being with Leo. However, as Midwesterners, you guys know, as Chicagoans, you guys know, we're very career driven. Okay. We are like, lock in that career. What's next? How much money can I make? Hustle bustle. And I had this job. I was making great money and I could stay there for the next 25 years. To take that risk and quit that job was the single hardest thing I ever had to do. When I clicked the button to quit, I literally screamed. I was like, holy shit, I can't believe I just did that. I did have people around me saying, Haley, life's short. Just take the leap and go. A job's a job. And now that I've left, I don't regret it. And if you're even thinking of leaving, then it's time to go. It's time to follow your heart. So I think following your heart and your career and in your life is everything. I was a victim to marrying that pension, marrying that guarantee, marrying that 25-year guarantee. Leaving that guarantee was the hardest part. Now, as long as you leave on good terms, excuse me, you could always come back, I think, within 3 years. So knowing that alleviated my stress a little bit, but the goal was never to come back, of course. But just know you could always come back, I believe, again, within 3 years, and check with your agency before you leave. Some even let you take a leave of absence for a year where you could try other careers and come back. See your options, okay? Now, when it's your time, it's your time. If you're not fulfilled, it's time to go. And I love my job. Like, don't get me wrong. I got my master's through the department. I met my best friends through the department. I had horrible times. I had the best times. I don't regret a single second of it. But when I wanted to leave, I knew it was time. So the best advice I could give you is that if you know, you know. And then also, speaking of education, have you, whoever, if you know you asked me this question, or if you're thinking about the same thing, is there any way you can get education through them before you leave, maybe? Because it's always good to have a backup plan. Now, maybe you could start training for another type of career while you're there. It's okay to have side hustles. It's okay to have side passions. It's okay to get a degree in something else while you're getting that paycheck. Is there a backup plan? Do you know what you're going to do? Or are you just quitting cold turkey? See, I'm not going to recommend you quit cold turkey unless you're completely miserable and it's literally draining your mental health. Then go. But is there steps you can take while you're there getting that solid paycheck and not miserable that you can build before you go? Think about that. Oh gosh, I'm sorry, you guys. I got another cough coming. If you think about leaving, I think you should go. I don't have regrets. Don't get married to that pension. Don't stay in a job for a pension. Respectfully, you could go tomorrow. Life is short, and do what makes you happy. And again, I don't regret it. The only best advice I would say is when you know, it's time to go, for sure. Sounds like this girl who asked me the question is ready to go, but have that backup plan. What can you do right now to line up your life and set yourself up for success while you still have that steady paycheck coming in, right? Can you manage staying there for another year to get your next career set up? That's my best advice for you. All right, let's get to the next question. Okay. Chicago here, 9 years on the job currently. Been talking to Sarasota Sheriff or Boca Raton. They seem to be in the higher paid departments in Florida. Did you take a substantial pay cut? I know there's no state tax. I'm just hoping it evens out and I'm not pinching pennies in a new state. Are you buying your years back from CPD? Ooh, great question. Oh God, you guys. Feel like I got another cough coming on. I'm doing this for y'all. Just know that I'm doing this for y'all. Sick as a dog. All right. First of all, congrats on considering to make the move. Like I just said, life's short. If you're thinking about, what is this? If you're thinking about making that move, just do it, you guys. Like, it's always sunny here in Florida. Just come on over. I didn't have to shovel snow. Can you believe it? As far as great paying departments, the ones that you just mentioned, I do believe those are in the higher pay rate. Again, do your research. I'm not an expert here, so I'm not going to talk about what these departments pay, but they will advertise their pay and they will advertise if they're the highest paying ones because Florida's competitive. Also, Danny DeSantis down here, he loves you. He will pay you to come down here. He will give you a check for a couple $1,000 for making the move from Chicago to Florida. So remember, you will have help in that department. I believe it comes around 6 months after you get here, though. So don't depend on it right away. So let me have a little sip of my DC. I'm sorry if you have headphones in your ears. And I'm like burning your ears when I cough. Now, with these departments, again, look at the size because some can be political. We know this. This is everywhere. So if you want to be paid a lot, great. But is it going to be really political? You gotta think about that. Are you willing to get paid a little bit less to have a little bit more leniency, to have a little more freedom? Remember, you get a take-home car here. I'm pretty sure like every department does. So that saves you a ton of money on gas. Also, these departments will move you along quick in the process. If they want you, they're not going to make you fly down here 100 times. They're going to stack it up in like a week for you. They're going to roll out the red carpet for you if they're a good agency. My agency was great. They made it as easy as possible. Some stuff we did on Zoom when I couldn't make it here. So make sure that this department is accommodating you. If they want you, they're going to accommodate you, especially when you have 9 years. Like, you're a value. You are an asset. Don't forget that. As far as the paycheck, I'm not going to lie, it is a little bit different. Chicago, please. I didn't realize how blessed I was in my paycheck area. But it just depends on the quality of life that you're looking for. Do I notice the pay cut? Yes, I'm not going to lie to you. I do. But I'm also an Amazon freak. I spend money like crazy. Like, I'm Beyonce. So if you're good with your money, you will be fine. But you can buy back time. My agency allows me to buy back 3 years. I don't know if other agencies are different. Oh, God, you guys. Oh, and I have work tonight too. No. Okay, but you can buy back those years. So definitely look into that. Your agency will let you know what's like financial planning bank that you guys work with best. They'll give you a recommendation, and then you can go in there and they can calculate how much it is to buy back that time. Have I bought back my time yet? No. Am I thinking about it? Yes. The longer you wait, though, the more expensive it does get. So ask the agency that you're thinking of going to, how many years do you guys allow me to buy back? Because if they allow you to buy back 5 years, 3 years, you already have 9, you're going to want to buy back some time. You're not going to want to work another 20, 25 years. So make sure you ask those questions. Now with your pension and stuff like that, me and Rachel also talk about that in the last podcast. You could roll it over to your new agency. Or you could leave it with your old 457 and let it just accrue there. Definitely got options. Don't think that your pension's just flying away into the dust, into the abyss. It's still yours, so don't worry. Oh my God, I can't believe this is my first solo podcast and I'm like on my deathbed coughing in your ears. I'm so sorry. Okay. Yeah, I hope that helps. But definitely, you guys, the ones who are asking about making the move to Florida, please listen to the last podcast with Rachel, because We literally go over that so much. I have a ton more questions, but the coughing is getting worse. So I'm going to go to the last question and we'll do more next time. Hi there. I see you're a cop. I'm planning on going towards that since it's always been my dream. Any advice that you can give? Okay. Of course. I have plenty of advice. Let's get to that question. You guys, thanks for listening with all my coughing, by the way. All right. First of all, I'm so proud of you for following your dreams. This is a female who wrote in. We need more of you on the job. We need you holding the line out there with us, sis. Okay. Best advice would be to know yourself, know the law, be confident. No one could tell you how to do your job if you know how to do your job, right? If you know the law, if you know what you're doing, no one can touch you. Okay. So just know your shit. That comes with time. So don't worry. You'll learn it and you can do extra studying. You guys, another cough. Oh my dear God. Oh my God. This is like horrible. Okay. No one can touch you if you are authentically yourself. Okay. Follow your dreams. If you want to be a cop, be a cop. I'm not going to tell you it's all rainbows and butterflies on this job, but have I made the best friends and the best memories in the world? Abso-freaking-lutely. Before I was a cop, I did a lot of jobs, okay? I worked in the service industry for a long time. I bartended, I served. I also worked in sales. I worked for Groupon. Ever heard of it? Yeah. I was like one of the, if I say this, probably the other people that worked there will be like, no, she wasn't. I made a lot of money for Groupon, okay? I was a really good saleswoman. And I hustled and worked my ass off, but that wasn't fulfilling me at all. I love this job because every day is different. You never know what to expect. So if you want to get into it, get into it. It's not going to happen overnight. Be patient. The process took me 9 months to get into CPD, which some people told me was a very fast turnaround. It might take a lot longer for you. Be patient. Stay in it. Don't lose the flame that is, drawing you to this job. And I can't wait to see you here. If you guys have more questions, please DM me on @never_forgotten_co or on my TikTok, @officer_hey. Let me double check if that's right, you guys. Oh my God. Oh my God. That is my old name. It's @that_Chicago_girl. You guys, I am sick. So please bear with me. Okay. @Chicago_girl. Or again, on my Instagram. I'm going to try to answer your questions every week. Without a cough would be phenomenal. So, love you guys. Be safe. If you're another officer and you ever want to hop on here with me, please message me. I would love to have you. Whether you're a guest on my podcast or if you want to just hop on here for 5-0 questions, would love to have you. So stay safe, stay healthy. I'm going to go take some ibuprofen. And guys, we'll see you on Tuesday for our next podcast. We have Heidi Chance, who is a human trafficking fighter. We go over the craziest stuff. If you're a parent or an officer, you need to listen to this episode. But anyways, I am sick as a dog and I'm going to get off. All right, you guys, I love you. Be safe for the 100th time and goodbye.